Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spin from the Reel. And yeah, we still don't have our intro yet. We're working on that as a team. But I'm excited. It's been about a month because of scheduling and whatnot since we've done an episode. So it's nice to finally get back to it and talk about it. A lot has happened in the world of Schmoedown, which I am definitely so excited to talk about. But of course, joining me as always is the one and the only, the personality, Chris Anthony Lopez.
Oh, man, that was so sweet. What's going on, homie? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, buddy. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Could be a little better, but, we're rocking. It's the only way we can.
Braces next week. How you feeling?
Dude, I am a nervous wreck. I'm scared of what I'm going to look like with these braces on, how I'm going to sound. That's the part that scares me the most. Like, if I can't be out here acting up, being all loud and stupid, I don't know how I'm going to act with these braces on. So, but we'll see. I'm going to try my best.
All right. Sounds good to me. But of course, we're not here to talk about our personal lives. We're here to talk about one of the few things that matter in life and one of the few sports that you've been able to sit through and watch during COVID, and that is the movie trivia Schmoedown. And if you don't want to consider it a sport, then I got one thing to say. Fuck you.
Hey, man, it's the only sport that with the exception of professional wrestling, like, those are the only two things going, and these two things go hand in hand.
And golf.
But now, like, the Schmoedown it's as crazy as it's ever been, because
crazier, honestly.
Transition into the whole online
digital
thing.
Match.
We're gonna talk about that later. At least with some funny business going on, according to some people. But we're going to talk about that later. But the movie trivia Schmoedown, it's halfway thriving because a lot of people have been able to express themselves, and especially with the hype towards these multiple tournaments. We just got the singles tournament bracket that we're going to talk about in a bit, and we've talked about it before on the show. But the Innergeekdom and Star Wars divisions, the personalities behind these tournaments have been shining, and it's been a sight to see. Like, it's incredible to watch, and it's just going to get better, especially with the singles tournament coming up.
Yes, no doubt whatsoever, and I'm living for it. Like, the Schmoedown has always been one of those things where it's just like, hey, relax, have a good time, and just enjoy it, man. And I love it for that reason. And I've told you, as someone who's not a big wrestling guy or UFC guy, for some reason I just get drawn into the Schmoedown, and I live for it. I love it. It's the kind of entertainment I like, and it's the movie trivia of it all is just really fun. So hey, what can you do except enjoy life and enjoy the Schmoedown? But a lot's been going on. We've had the Innergeekdom tournament been going on, and then we've also had the Star Wars tournament. Well, the Star Wars tournament is actually over now, and the IG tournament's still going on. So real quick, I actually want to, or not real quick, but I want to focus first on this Star Wars tournament that went on, and wow, were our predictions totally off for the main part.
One person. All it took was one person from the he was in the play-in, and we gave him the benefit of the doubt from the play-in.
Yeah.
But my God, did he prove everybody wrong throughout the entire tournament?
Oh yeah.
And the man that we're speaking of is Andres Cabrera, aka Ace. Oh my God! If you'd have told me Ace was winning this tournament, did anyone have Ace winning this tournament besides Winston?
No,
like no one, right? And not to throw any shade at Ace, but like, yeah, he's hosted Star Wars shows before,
right?
Like, he's no stranger to this stuff at all, but he's going against the likes of proven commodities like Ken Napzok,
Laura Kelly,
and these up and coming Schmoedown personalities like Laura Kelly, like Andrew DeMolanta, and he wins the whole tournament. The whole thing is
unbelievably also like that. Like he barely missed a question in the entire tournament. Like, barely missed the one.
He was a stud the whole time,
and it's
it was insane to watch.
Like, I couldn't look away from these matches, and it's just one of those things where like, is this really happening right now? And for me, the finals was the the tournament final was like watching the World Series back in 2016. 2016. I had my two favorite factions playing against each other, and either way, I won and I lost. So it's just like, hey, great.
And you were super high on Dimolanta from the jump.
Yes, Dimolanta was the one I had winning. So I got half the bracket right. I got half.
Yeah, I mean, you were there with Dimolanta, and I mean, I was riding high with Laura Kelly, and she was fantastic in her match against Ace, but he brought it, and really, if Swag isn't the faction to watch for the rest of the year, I don't know who is. Because obviously, we're getting like the Finstock Exchange has obviously been rocking this entire year, and like they're the faction to beat. Still, they're the faction to beat going into the single tournament.
And I looked up the faction standings currently. Finstock Exchange sits at top 29 to 22, followed by 29 Swag with 22, the Den with 15, Rockstars with 12. Corruption 11, making their way back up in the standings. They were at the bottom for the longest. The Dungeon at 11, Burning Droogs at 9, Quirky Mercs at 9, and the usual suspects at a little 7, which is upsetting because Sam Levine is the man.
It's so like, I mean, we'll get to the standings in a second, or at least the factions in a second, because I have a lot to say, especially about the Den and the singles tournament. But the Finstock Exchange has been the faction to beat this whole year. From the draft, just from the draft going forward.
When you have
Swag,
4 of the top players.
Yeah, you have 4 of the best players in the whole league, regardless of division, regardless of whatever league they're participating in. They're still threats. All of them are threats. And Swag, if you would have told me that Swag was going to not only be the second best faction in the league, but leaps and bounds against factions like the usual suspects and the Dungeon, the Dungeon was great in Innergeekdom, but they're not really.
See, the Dungeon I expected to be lower in the standings because when he used his first pick on Smets, everyone expected. Then the second pick was Robert Parker, another IG player off rip. Like that one was a little suspect to me, but
Kaiser had convinced me that I'm like, this man just wants his little monopoly on Innergeekdom.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you know what? Fine. Cool. But the Rockstars have been underperforming.
Iffy. Yeah, I think that's more so because Roxy needs to rely on teams in Innergeekdom because Damon's just sitting there in Star Wars matches. That was maybe
the problem from the jump. But the Finstock Exchange has been the same since the jump. But Swag is right there. And a lot of that is because of Ace and his performance in Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
And what's going on in the Innergeekdom division. And then once the singles tournament starts, all this could be blown out of the water.
Yes.
We really could get a lot of shuffling. We will get a lot of shuffling in the faction rankings going into the last quarter of the year. But I'm to wrap up on Star Wars real fast. Ace, my God, like
man was a god. Ace. Like, hey,
yeah,
I hat tip to
absolutely
you.
Absolutely killing it. I cannot like I'm sorry for not only underestimating you and not showing you the love that I should have given you from the jump, but man, I want him to beat Alex. I really do. And now that Alex is participating more, he's not solely set on Star Wars like how he was before because he's in Innergeekdom now. He's rocking. Ace has a chance, and I really hope Ace pulls this off. So I'm a fan now, Ace. What's up, homie?
For me, I think that depends on what ends up happening with Damon going forward into the Innergeekdom tournament because
he's facing Brandon Hanna.
He's facing Hannah, but he already beat Hannah. He beat Hannah.
Okay, word.
That was last week.
Yeah.
I think I forget who he plays next. But realistically, if he gets knocked out of this tournament, there's not a chance that he has 2 matches at the Spectacular at the end of the year. If he has those 2 matches, that's when I'm giving Ace Ace has got a real chance. But if Damon only has the 1 match, Damon's going to have all this time. Like, okay, I did my part in Innergeekdom for the year. Now time for me to shift my focus on the Star Wars and just keep it going and keep my title and just keep moving forward. And that's what I really expect out of Damon going forward.
Because, Innergeekdom's proven that you got to know your stuff. The Schmoedown gets harder, and I think Rachel Cushing had a great post about this on Twitter a couple days ago. Like the Schmoedown isn't just going in and playing movie trivia anymore. That's not what it is. You need to study. You got to take the Ben Bateman Schmoedown studying classes in order to properly participate in the Schmoedown. It's not just, oh, I'll watch some movies and I'll go in, answer some questions. No, that ain't it anymore. And I love what Rachel said. And she put it like eloquently. I loved it because that's exactly what the sport is now. You can't. It's not what it was before, and it's constantly evolving. And with the competitors right now, and especially after watching the Star Wars tournament pan out, you can't BS your way into this.
Not at all.
Ace proved that it's not BSing. You got to know your stuff. And his Innergeekdom tournament is proving that as well. Every competitor is bringing it.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Even in the first round, Saul, for example, it's not like Saul was out of that Brandon Hanna match. He was in it for a decent amount of time. And that was the first time we had seen Saul play at all. So, like, when you to see rookies just bringing it, no issue. It's just really empowering and exciting to see. And I'm really looking forward to see what happens going forward in the Schmoedown, especially when we get into this singles tournament. And I know the teams tournament is about to be a thing also, but But out of the Innergeekdom matches, I gotta say, I watched the Goddard match. I was a little upset because I was rooting for Goddard. He did all right. It was weird because you've seen Goddard play better. It just wasn't his game. It wasn't his game. It wasn't his match. So that was a surprise. But I want to talk. We've been harping a lot about Damon, but like the dude has proven he deserves some respect in Innergeekdom. Not only has he gotten Star Wars, but he's hit all of his Middle Earth questions, hit all of his Star Trek questions. Like the dude knows what he's talking about.
Like this isn't like Alex Damon has proved that he's not just a threat in a galaxy far, far away. Like that's not it anymore. Like he obviously knows his other realms in Innergeekdom. And I want to go back to Saul real fast before I continue on Alex. Yeah. Saul, he also put his training regimen for Innergeekdom on Twitter with like a stack of DVDs and Blu-rays and just things pinned all over what I'm presuming is his room, his studying room. Yeah. And it's nuts, the preparation that Saul had to do just to even compete with Brandon Hanna. Yeah, he didn't come out on top, but my God.
Damn close.
He was damn close. I was rooting for Saul too because
that's who I wanted.
I wanted Saul so bad. But Alex has proven that works as well for like it doesn't matter what division you go into. You can't be underestimated. And like what you said with Ben. Yeah, Ben didn't necessarily bring the performance that you thought he was going to do, like how he's been killing it in tags, killing it in singles, which I'm so upset he's not in the singles bracket, but again, we'll get to that in a second. But I really do think that like that was Ben's his first time in Innergeekdom. And like we said, it's hard. Innergeekdom is probably the most difficult.
It was his second match. It was his second match because he had a play-in match. And he did phenomenal in the play-in match.
It's still his first time in Innergeekdom. Like, he hasn't dabbled. Granted, this whole year it's been him dabbling into the division. Yeah. But this has been his first little stretch in Innergeekdom. And he did well. It's just that Innergeekdom is that difficult. It's that hard, and you have to really prepare yourself for it. Yeah. And with what Ben's been doing beforehand, like killing it in singles and teams with the Pride and Rachel Silvestrini, like I want to see Ben do more Innergeekdom, but man, you just got to bring it. You have to bring it.
Yeah, I need to correct you. It's Rachel the Switchblade Silvestrini. That is official. It is the Switchblade, and you got to put some respect on her name.
I'm sorry. When I think of Switchblades, I think of Jay White, and all my wrestling fans would know that. I always forget. I'm like the Switchblade. I'm like Jay White. I'm sorry, Rachel Silvestrini, the Switchblade, Rachel Silvestrini.
Yes.
So, but they've been killing it with the Pride, but Ben, I want to see more Ben in Innergeekdom. But once this tournament's over, we're gonna see who the real studs are, because there's some hidden gems in this Innergeekdom tournament that we've seen, whether they've lost or they're still in the tournament. Like, this division kicks ass, and arguably it's the most exciting to watch. Yeah, because it's so niche. It's so niche, and they're like guys like Greg Alba, right? Who,
the real reject shocked me in this tournament.
Both of
like
them.
they shocked me.
John and Greg really brought it for this.
And then you find out they didn't study, and they didn't study together even though they lived together, and that was something they talked about. And I was this week on SEN, I'm just like, wait, what? Y'all live together, are playing in the same tournament for the same team when y'all didn't study. You did that well. Just bravo.
They rule. And I'm so glad because the Real Rejects have been one of those teams that fans have just they've taken in their arms and they love them so much, win or lose.
Yes.
Like
they're the wild berries we have now since the wild berries are broken up.
Exactly. And the Real Rejects, like who doesn't love the Real Rejects? But they've proven themselves individually. And I mean John's been he's been known to kill it in the free-for-alls of past. But both these guys brought it in Innergeekdom, and I cannot be any happier for the both of them. Not really studying.
And
like they didn't go to the Ben Bateman School of Schmoedown studying, and they still did really, really well. And they're doing really, really well, and they're going to be staples of this division going forward, especially when we get back in the studio. So this whole tournament, probably next year. Yeah. But when this whole tournament, both tournaments made stars, and they were making stars. And if I was Kristian Harloff, I would be going to sleep with the biggest smile on my face, knowing that both of the most niche, the two most niche leagues in your divisions in your league are killing it. They're absolutely killing it, and they're bringing the most love. And shout out to Twitch, like they really ruled the whole Twitch thing. Yeah. Like they did a great job of doing it on Twitch. But my God, they brought it with both divisions.
Yes, they did, without a doubt. And I can't wait to see more. And we're gonna probably touch back and forth on this, but we do have another tournament that's starting up August 10th, which right now, and I'm gonna plug their Patreon since we don't. Yep. Hey, we have Kristian Harloff in here himself.
Yeah, dude. Twitch brother.
Twitch was just really nice to go to and have those live matches. I just got to say that. But I'm loving it. We're probably gonna go back and forth about these tournaments as we talk about this next big tournament we got coming up, the singles tournament, and the bracket was dropped. And oh my, is there a lot to talk about from this? The fact that you have people playing in, or you have the bracket kind of hinging on how these next couple matches go with Merle and Irwin, and then the winner of that Rocha and Irwin, and the winner versus Merle. It's just ridiculous. And I'm excited to see Sabrina Ramirez. I'm really hoping one of the guys from the Finstock Exchange saw the title at this point, because I want to see her play. She was like the biggest free agent in free agency. Like everybody wanted her, and we still have no idea what her knowledge is. Yeah,
like I was like the whole plan, like it did take me a second to realize what was going on. Like, especially with the ramifications behind Rocha and Irwin, and then going into the match against Dan, the winner of that going into the match against Dan. So, I mean, I want to see Sabrina in the tournament just as much as the next person, but there's so many talking points out of this whole tournament.
Yes.
It's insane. It's absolutely nuts. And the first one I did want to touch on something I already mentioned. The Rachel Silvestrini inclusion from the Den, right?
Yeah.
I want to credit this to Brad Gilmore, because he's the one that brought it to my attention when I was watching the rundown a couple of days ago. He was questioning the inclusion of Rachel. Not that she's not good, because Rachel obviously is proven to be fantastic.
This season especially. This season she's been up there at the top with everyone else.
Killing it. Absolutely killing it. But some may say that her Pride teammate, Ben Goddard, is the better player. So if I'm Kate, I'm thinking, why don't I put Ben in this thing? I'm curious into why, because Ben's, like I've said, Ben ruled at singles, the 3 matches that he had. He's been killing it in teams. He's done better than Rachel. Not saying that Rachel's not, again, not saying Rachel's not good, but Ben he proved everybody wrong.
Yeah.
And if I'm thinking, I need wins, I need points, or knockouts. Really, if I can get them, why not put Ben? And the Super Shooting match is against Liz Shannon Miller.
Yes.
So it's going to be a great match nonetheless. but I'm questioning the exclusion of Ben Goddard, and I wonder if Ben had something to do about it, or if Rachel is just like, I want to put, or if Kate was like, I want to put Rachel in it.
I think it more so has to do with her wanting to put Rachel in, because if you look at it, Ben's been all over. He got to have his chance in the Innergeekdom tournament. You got to try, and as a manager, you have to try to balance all of your players. Like, you got to give them all a little bit of shine. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just rock with one because they're doing well for you. I mean, that's part of the reason why she went with Saul over Brandon Hanna, and we ended up with all that drama for the IG tournament.
Yeah, and
I can understand that, because Brandon Hanna had played. He had that the flub match earlier this year, because he is a great IG competitor. I'm not going to take that away from him. Mm-hmm. It's annoying as a heel, but that means he's doing his job right.
Oh man, I cannot stand Brandon Hanna.
But that's why she went with that's why she went with Saul over Brandon Hanna, because he's on my faction. He needs to get some shine. Let me put him out there. That's what that was about, and I can respect that, because you want to do what's best. You want to try to do what's best for your faction, while also trying to be fair. And that's part of the reason I respect Kate and how she's picked how these tournaments are going, or how she's handling her team during these tournaments.
And I totally understand that point of view. And if that's the case, then awesome. Then I'm glad she did it that way, so she can, spread the wealth within the den.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we're more than halfway through the season. We are going into this singles tournament, and I need some points. If I'm a manager of a faction, I need some points.
It's not like Rachel takes the possibility of points away from you, though.
You're right, but I personally, I would be more comfortable with Ben going into this thing. But at the same time, I understand why you put Rachel in this situation, and I'm not discrediting Rachel at all. But maybe because I'm a Ben Goddard stan, and I really want to see him. Yo, what's this? You got a package.
What's up, little man?
That's my brother. Thanks. Cool. I ordered Sing Street and something else, but this is for later. So, yeah, I think that the exclusion of Ben is really just doing the den a disservice, but I understand the inclusion of Rachel 1,000%. I just think that Ben would have been a better asset points-wise and performance-wise going into this tournament. But that's just my POV. Rachel's still going to kill it.
Can we talk about one of the biggest things that have ramifications for something we're going to talk about later that happened when it comes to this tournament?
Hit me with it.
The Kalinowski dropping out of his number one contender match with Guy to try to get corruption points. I understand it, because corruption wants to get back up there. But this is one of those things that could end up coming back to bite corruption in the ass. Because I understand the thinking behind it.
The love that Mike has for his performance. He trusts himself, and he wants to put himself and his faction in a better place, in a better spot.
I'm just worried, because let me bring up the bracket again. Like, it's not like where is our good old boy Kalinowski?
Bottom right, facing Perry.
Perry, thank you. Like, he might have to. If he beats Perry, he might have to play Mark Riley or Video Drew. It's not like
that match is going to be awesome,
right? But it's not like, and then if you look at the bracket below them, because the winner of those matches plays each other, you might have Schneider or Robert Montana or Paul Oyama or Bonnie Somerville or Marisol Marquis. It's not like he's got this easy path to get to a finals matchup. You know what I mean? Like, this is a really big step.
Like, and just to highlight that bottom right of the tournament, it's nuts having Kalinowski, Mark Riley, Jeff Snyder, Paul Oyama, and to show her some love, Video Drew. Yeah. Like, that bottom right is the most competitive and most difficult part of the whole tournament. On God. It's going to be that's what I'm most excited for. That part of the tournament. So, like, the southeast portion, that's what I'm rocking with. And the fact that Mike Kalinowski is putting the faction first, not just going for an individual accolade, going and believing in himself and trusting himself. And shout out to Shannon for trusting him that much to essentially put the faction on his back, or partially on his back, to rock with this tournament, because he has the ability to beat a person like Perry Nemiroff, and then move on to face the winner of Video Drew or Mark Riley. I'm so curious to see Mike's performance, because he could have had that number one contenders match against Andrew Guy. Because if you look at this tournament, Andrew Guy is nowhere to be seen, and we'll get to that in a little bit as well. But Mike going out of his way to put the faction first is definitely what I'm rocking with. Shout out to Mike. Yes. Wishing you nothing but the best, man. But that bottom right is nuts. Is absolutely crazy. And that link that Kristian had put.
Yeah, I was just pulled it up, so we're gonna do that a little bit later on. But I'm gonna try to see if our special guest is still planning on coming in. I'm gonna send them the link to join right here.
Word.
Because I know they're excited to talk about some of the stuff we're gonna go on about. But I want to keep going on the tournament right now.
This tournament has a bunch of incredible matchups as well. Are there any other matchups that we haven't mentioned that you're looking forward to?
I mean, let's see. I'm pulling up Brendan Meyer, Alonzo Duralde, and Draco Atchity.
Nuts.
Barbarian and Cyborg. That's one that I'm really interested in seeing, because the Barbarian has been one of the best characters and overall performance we've had so far this season. So like when 100%. I see he's going against Whitney, I'm like, okay, I'm curious, because Whitney has been one of those guys who he has the knowledge. He's just had issues playing the game side.
He's gotten this close.
Always.
Every time. He's gotten this close. Whether it's critically acclaimed or by himself, he's this close.
And then it slips out in the last minute.
I love Whitney so much.
The Barbarian. We've seen the Barbarian duel in Innergeekdom.
Mm-hmm.
And he did well earlier this year when we saw him in singles. So I'm really curious to see how well he does going forward. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, I want more. I think this is what's going to get us more, and this is what I love about the Schmoedown. So
I'm glad you brought up Atchity and Draco, though. That match and Kristian went into this on SCN when Mark and Draco was on. He asked Mark, like, how do you feel about facing Atchity? And you can't talk about Matt Atchity in the Schmoedown without bringing up his prior performances and his lack of
knowing how to play the game. It's like Whitney all over again. He's always had the knowledge, but he has issues playing the game side of it.
Always asks for multiple choice in the third round.
Yeah.
Mark and Draco, and he said this on SCN, like he went back and watched prior Schmoedowns, and it's like the older ones. And since they're reusing questions this year, he's really just diving into movies that he's maybe never seen before, but he knows some questions to, which is a great strat, by the way. But that match is going to be incredible to see whenever it happens. And Draco Atchity, I'm really looking forward to that one as well. I'm so glad you mentioned Duralde and Brendan Meyer, because Brendan Meyer's been one of those real I don't want to say underrated, but he's
underrated.
Cool.
He's underrated.
Kicks ass. He was a top 2 pick. He was a second round pick for a reason, or a top 2 round pick for a reason.
Yeah.
With Shazam, like Brendan Meyer is he's so good at what he's doing.
Make life a little bit easier for us, so we don't have to keep going back and forth.
Word. And him facing against Alonzo Duralde, it's like Duralde again. He's none to play with either.
All right. And joining us today, we got a friend of the show, a part of the Who Are They Real Entertainment Network. We got Nick Mulbach joining in. Nick, how you doing, brother?
Hey, everybody. Wow, the amount of people who probably thought that the special guest was Kristian because he's watching. Hey, Commissioner, how's it going? Chairman, Commissioner. I'm thinking about it in wrestling terms, although I guess Vince is also the chairman as well. How's it going? This is me in between like dinner and
editing,
getting some stuff ready for a shoot tomorrow. How's it going, everybody?
We're rocking, my man.
We're rocking. But Nick, I know you being a Schmoedown fan yourself too. What are you looking forward to when you see these matchups? Like, what's a match you're looking forward to?
Oh my goodness, there is so many, and I was thinking about starting my own bracket, and bear it in mind. You know, I got some fans going on in the background, but no, I mean, I'm really just excited to see. Oh, I mean, Mike versus Perry. I haven't seen Perry compete in a while, so it'll be very nice to see her get back into it. You know, I kind of got to go with Kalinowski on that one, anyways. But I'm just, you know, when it comes down to it, it's kind of I was listening to you guys a little bit, seeing where some of this seeding happens and seeing certain people win, because if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm wrong here, but weren't Lon and Ethan Irwin a tag team at one point?
No, they were not.
No, they were competing against each other, I think, pretty early on. So it'll be kind of interesting to see that matchup happen again, because I know, or potentially happen again, because I know Irwin, you know, he's been a guy that I've been hoping to see potentially win these matches throughout this entire time that he's been in the Schmoedown. I always thought that he was potentially going to be the champion at some point, even though he would have to dethrone my boy Merle.
You mean champion again?
Yeah. Oh wait, was he champion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. I must be.
It was. He lost his first defense.
Lost his first defense to your boy Dan. That was when your boy got his title back.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, let's see a rematch. But you know what? To be honest, I'd love to see Rocha come out of this. Rocha's always been one of my favorite competitors as well when it comes to the Schmoedown. So I guess I kind of see it more as individual performances as opposed to anything else.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm so glad you brought up Lon, actually, Nick, because Lon, if you want to see Lon and Ethan again, Ethan he has to lose his match against Rocha, and
then
it's totally feasible. It's totally feasible to see that matchup, Ethan and Lon again, and it's
as a finals matchup. It's a finals matchup. That'd be a hell of a finals matchup.
Totally feasible finals matchup in this thing. Lon come out of the left side, Ethan out of the right side. It could be something. It could be a sight to see. Lon just.
Oh yeah. I'm not even realizing that Lon was not even on that side of the bracket that I was looking at.
Okay. We keep talking about Ethan. We kept talking about Ethan, and of course, I forgot about this little match right here. That's going to be insane. Zip versus Preston. That
top right also has a lot of killers in it.
Kemper Ramirez.
Tim versus Tom.
Tim versus Tom.
Franco versus Tom.
Tim versus Jader. I really. There's not a bad matchup. The one David Del Rio is the one I'd be iffy about this matchup, because
Del Rio. I'm looking forward to Del Rio.
I'm looking forward to him, but we only seen him in one or two matches, and that was last year at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he's been out of the game for so long, and he goes up against Chance, who's going to have some IG matches under his belt. He's already a hell of a competitor as it is. So Chance is he's not going to have that same kind of rust that someone like a David Del Rio has.
And something I just realized while looking at this thing, we may see a civil war of sorts between the former critically acclaimed.
Yep, I was just about to bring that up.
We could totally see Bibbs versus Seibold in the second round of this tournament. And that's something, because they haven't competed against each other, if I'm not mistaken, at least in singles.
They have not yet.
So that's a match I would love to see. And after I fill out my little bracket, that's for a decision that I have to make of who's going to win that match. But my God, this whole tournament has a bunch to look forward to. And it really just comes down to this, what we get out of these competitors. Because anyone can easily have an off day. But since there's so many people involved, I cannot wait for this thing to start. It starts August 10th, and it can't come quick enough. It really can't.
And while we have you here, since we got this from the commission, I'm going to pull this on up. We're going to actually go through and make our bracket, or do our bracket. So, out of Andre Gallegos and Adam Collins, who do you got?
I'm gonna rock Collins.
Nick, who are you gonna go?
I don't know who either of them are, so I'm gonna go.
They're both rookies. I was gonna go with Collins also, because he's done well in fan leagues.
Corruption needs the love, man. Corruption needs the love.
Corruption does need the love. If I can actually pull this over without this acting up. Okay, I'm having issues. All right, but match details. All right, so we got Adam Collins going against Merle or Rocha.
Oh,
I got the loser of Merle Rocha going. I like their odds.
Yeah,
I really like their odds.
All right, fair enough.
Regardless of who it is. My guess is that it's going to be Rocha, but just saying.
I agree. So we got Adam Collins.
There we go.
Boom. There we go. All right. Lon Harris, Sabina Graves. I got Lon in this personally. All right.
He's a gem. A guy that knows exactly how to not only kick ass at trivia, but he's a great character. I was
just about to say, his character this season is just killer, and I can't wait to see more of him.
Yeah, for wrestling fans, like, he's Orange Cassidy. This man is Orange Cassidy.
He doesn't care.
For the movie Trivia Schmoedown. Exactly, and I love it.
All right. Now we got Meyer Duralde. Personally, this one I'm going Meyer.
Got to go with the kid, dude. I really am going to rock with Brendan Meyer. Love that dude.
Ashley and Draco. I got to go in Draco here.
Love Draco.
I would love to see
actually get the monkey off his back.
Pull this out. Yeah. Because he can totally do it. Like, he has an extensive film knowledge.
He definitely does.
But I'm going to go with Draco, not only because, like, he's had incredible performances before, but he's gone back. He's watched the tape, man.
Yeah.
He went back and watched the tape. There's studying and then watching previous performances. I'm pretty sure actually hasn't watched a match in forever. So, and Draco.
All right. Now we got a play-in match. Frank Moran or James White. Honestly, I'm not sure who to go with on this one.
I'm going to say White.
Yeah, I was going to say White. And then we got probably Bibbs over White.
Oh, yes. My God. Bibbs.
Yeah. Bibbs.
And then this is the one. This is the one. Chris, I know you want that Civil War, but I think the Barbarian, knowing how to play the game, is actually going to end up what?
Dude, the Barbarian, man. Oh my gosh, love the Barbarian. He's so entertaining.
I would say Whitney.
Whitney?
I would personally say Whitney.
All right, Nick.
Oh, Barbarian.
Okay, so we got the Barbarian going forward.
Understood.
we're just going.
Totally
we're going majority rules here, bud.
I totally get it.
Liz Shannon Miller or Rachel Silverstream? Who you got?
Rachel has to pull this out for the den, so I'm going to Rachel.
She has to. What do you got, Nick?
Sure, Rachel.
See, I'm on the Liz Shannon Miller side because she's just been a killer when she plays, but majority wins out. So hey,
Rachel has to prove to not only Kate but to every fan of the den that she's not the weaker link of the Pride. Prove me wrong, Rachel. I want to be wrong. Prove it to me against Liz Shannon Miller.
All right. Play-in Matt, or excuse me, I think. So Chance Ellison or David Del Rio? I think we all agreed that Chance going forward. Jen Kemp or Sabrina Ramirez versus Vinny Mancuso?
Well, this is based off of because I believe if Rocha loses or no, if he wins the match, I don't know exactly what it is.
So here,
she might not even participate.
So here's how it goes. If Rocha is the champion, or if Rocha is the champion, Ethan Irwin will play in this match. Okay. If Rocha loses, or if Rocha is not the champion, and Dan is still the champion, Rocha plays up there in this one right here. So
Jen Kemp would be here.
It would be Sabrina, I believe. Or if Ethan's here, it's Sabrina.
Here, Kristian answer this for us. If Rocha and Merle are both in tourney, Sabrina is out.
Yeah. So it's like I said, if one of them is only in it, which I think.
So Ethan has to be the champ.
Ethan has to be the champ for Rocha to be in that spot.
Okay. So I don't think he will be.
I don't think Ethan will be champ either. I think it's going to be one of the Finstock boys. But so I got Sabrina. I think I got Sabrina over Mancuso. I'm really interested. I know that Video Drew wanted Vinny as her partner, and she tried getting Robert Meyer Burnett to trade for him, or was it? She tried getting Kaiser to trade for him. I know she wanted Mancuso as her partner. She wasn't able to get it, but it is what it is. I got a gut feeling just because watching First Take, Sabrina actually knows, or First Cut. Thank you, First Cut. Sabrina actually knows her stuff, so I'm going with Sabrina, and then unfortunately,
I want to see Sabrina too.
Unfortunately, I know she's probably going to lose to Irwin right there. but that's just because Erwin's a buzzsaw.
Yeah, Ethan doesn't play. My man don't play at all.
And it's like he doesn't even try. That's what I love about it. Like he just knows it. He's just sitting there casually. Oh, this.
Yeah, he's just hanging out. Like my man just hangs out and answers movie trivia for fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, now this is one of the ones that I think is going to end up being really close. Zipper Preston, or as Nick likes to call Preston, the Kristian Harloff clone.
I want to say Paul.
Yeah, I was gonna say, got to go with my boy Kristian Harloff clone.
See, I like Zip's chances because he's now the outside of Smets, the number one player for the dungeon.
Oh yeah,
but Paul's got something to play for, so I think I'm going to go with Paul here also.
Yeah, Paul's a safe bet.
Now Viveda versus Paramo. Jader did well in his one match that we saw earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
But Viveda has just been that guy. Once again, he has all the knowledge. He just needs to learn how to play the game. And he's got Roxy as his manager now, so I can't even say he doesn't know how to play it because she's going to make sure he's ready for this because this is a really big tournament for her.
If Roxy shows Jim what's up, then I got Jim. And I'm pretty sure that's the case because Roxy's a kick-ass manager. I got Jim.
Yeah, I think Jader, if he was still under Sam, I might go with him. But now that he's under Ken, and Ken's a great manager, I don't know. So I'm going to go Jim.
I feel way more comfortable with Roxy over Jim.
All right, and Tim Franco over Tom. I'm sorry, but Tom's a machine. We saw in all those matches.
Tom's a dog.
We saw all those matches last year. It's just Tom
doesn't play. Tom don't play around.
All right, Marisol McKee or Bonnie Somerville.
Man, I mean, I want Bonnie in this so bad. So bad. Yeah. I'm going to go with Marisol.
Yeah.
And whoever drops that's or whoever wins that's going to lose to Oyama anyway. I'm sorry. Did I say that? Did I say that too loud?
But Kristian was even talking about, I can't remember if it was SEN or backstage, how Bonnie's actually committed. She wants to win. She's committing to this. So part of me is curious. Now that she's had all of this time in quarantine and whatnot to possibly go back and watch these matches and pick up on some knowledge, I don't know. It's a toss-up for me.
Like, I'm not too familiar with Marisol, but just because of I feel more comfortable going with Marisol and then Oyama over Marisol, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's actually what we're getting to next. So we're going Oyama over Marisol.
Yep.
I got Snyder over Montano.
Yeah. Robert was definitely the Shawn Michaels of late to the party.
Yeah. For
sure. But Snyder just has a chip on his shoulder at all times. Like even when he was champ, it felt like he had a chip on his shoulder. So I'm going with Jeff. Yeah.
And then we got arguably one of the most interesting match, if not the most interesting match in the tournament, Video Drew versus Mark Riley, because I feel like this can go either way.
Oh man. It's gonna be so good.
I can't wait. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be insane.
I love the contrast in personality between the two. Like Mark really he amps it up when he's with the Horsemen, but he's rocking with this one on his own.
Yeah.
And against a force like Video Drew, she's not just a kick-ass movie trivia competitor. She's an incredible character, like great personality.
And just especially since he's going to be seeing her face on the screen. You know that creepy doll smile she brings sometimes. I'm just like, for me personally, it would kind of, I think it would be a little bit unnerving. You know what I mean?
No, and I think that's what, it's almost like a charm that she brings.
Yeah,
I gotta stop talking about Video Drew. I'm going with Mark.
You're going with Mark?
Yeah, I'm going with Mark.
All right. And then,
that sucks. That really sucks.
Also, fellas, have fun doing the tournament. I gotta sign off because of dinner.
All right. Thank you for popping on, Nick.
Thanks, homie. We'll talk soon.
Hopefully the underdog wins tonight. I'll see you guys later.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So let's get back to this. Let's finish this out. So we got Kalinowski, Perry. I'm going with Mike in this. Mike's just a force. And let's make our way from bottom to top. I actually have Riley over this. I think Riley can take down Kalinowski.
Part of me thinks that Mike really has to bring it because of his dedication to the faction.
Yeah.
But Mark Riley, there's been a lot of talk about Mount Rushmore the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Mark Riley's up there, and I can never
bet against the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I'm going Riley.
Damn, yeah, that's hard though. That's a good one. I can't wait to see it if it happens.
Yeah. So Oyama and Snyder. Now that's an interesting pairing, to say the least, because Oyama was in Innergeekdom. We know all he's got to do is throw a couple geekier slices on the wheel, and if Snyder lands on one, he's that competitor who'll just get thrown off, get off his game, similar to someone we saw in our tournament.
This game solely depends. Well, really, this one and the last one with Mike and Mark, it goes down to the wheel.
Yeah, it's a wheel match.
I want to say Jeff, solely because the Rockstars need the push. They need the push. And this is the perfect place to do it. I mean, because they're going to kick ass in teams. They will kick ass in teams. But singles is a great way to start that. And I'm going to go with Jeff.
I want to go with Oyama, but that's just because, once again, I go back to what I said earlier. Oyama's the type of player who he's now got a few matches under his belt in the digital format. He doesn't have the rust that a Snyder might, and it's tough. We'll go Snyder just because he has more experience, but at the same time, you can't discount the fact that Oyama has been a champion.
And I
in
can't,
singles.
And you can't discredit that. No, you can't. But my man had him after his shaky performance late last year. He came back with a vengeance, and he wants to prove himself to be that champion that he was. Although he lost his first defense in that fashion. Either way, those last two matches that we talked about are going to be killer, and the matches that's going to produce of the winners of that is going to be just as good, if not better. I
think we're in the round where from this point on, every single match is killer, and it's going to end up coming down to the wheel almost every single match we have going forward. All right, so
those last two are nuts.
Yeah, let's move on. Tom versus Viveda. I got to go with Tom personally. We said it before. He's a machine. He basically does not miss, and it seems like he actually knows how to play the game. So I'm going Tom. What are you saying?
Well, quick thing. Kristian did correct me. That it was his second defense. I forgot about the Snyder match in New York.
Yeah.
God. Actually, go back and put Paul.
Yeah. I'm glad you see the light. I am glad you see the light.
I totally spaced on the Snyder New York match.
See, and that I spaced on that too, because I was like, I'm pretty sure he played him before, but I don't want to say he did. So yeah, I think Paul's got his number. It just takes that Snyder get thrown off on the wheel.
Oh right. Man. Okay. What was the other one?
Tom Viveda.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah, he's a machine. He doesn't miss, and he knows how to play the game. It seems like Viveda still doesn't have that.
Tom's a stud.
Now, Ethan or Rocha versus Paul Preston.
And we said for argument's sake that this is Ethan. Right?
Yeah, we said for argument's sake this is Ethan.
So what was the other one? Ethan or who?
Paul.
Oh damn. Wow. Or are you leaning?
I kind of want to give it to Preston.
Oh, I was thinking, man. I was thinking Paul too.
I think Paul's due, and I think this is going to be the tournament where Paul actually fully breaks out, because he's another one of those guys, similar to Imolata, where he's always just been close, and then just one thing throws it all off. I think Paul is due, especially if it's Ethan. Ethan might be coming off. He's still. If how should I put this? Ethan may be coming off a win, but he's also it's gonna be one of those lower seeds. But the match before that could have possibly would have been a loss in this case to a Dan or a Rocha, and I think Paul Preston is that kind of caliber player. So,
oh wow, I'm gonna go with you on Paul, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah,
but damn, that's gonna be a powerhouse. Oh man, these are hard, dude.
Yeah, this is where I got to give it to Kristian because he's given us possibly the 3 greatest tournaments we've seen. And this one's just solely based off of the bracket.
We haven't even seen any of these matches yet.
This could end up being 3 of the greatest tournaments we've ever gotten in Schmoedown history. So I just want to say that right now.
Oh, this is nuts.
All right, this is going to be a tough one. Ellison or Silverstreeny?
Oh.
Told you it only gets tougher. It only gets tougher from
here. I would love to see Goddard versus Ellison. That crushes me. Yeah, Kristian, man, you really killed it with this tournament, my man. Don't let anyone give you any shit. I bet this was rough. There's no way. Like, this is probably the best it was going to be. The most perfect it was going to be, and it's still difficult as hell to do. But in regards to Ellison and Silverstreeny, I'm gonna rock with Chance, dude.
Yeah, I think Chance is realistically corruption's hope in this tournament.
Yeah, Chance will go further than Mike, but Mike has a harder part of the bracket, dude.
Yeah, significantly. Well, you can honestly say it's even because look at this next matchup we got to go over: the Barbarian or Bibiani. And unfortunately, I have to say, I think this is the match where the Barbarian Cinderella story comes to an end.
I love William Bibiani so much. And my man he gets this close every single time, and I think he'll get there. I think he's going to pass the Barbarian.
Yeah, I think he's passing the Barbarian too. All right, so we got Myron and Draco, and this is one where I'm like, I don't want to go against. This is a coin flip to me because I don't want to go against the kid.
Oh.
And Draco's been to a singles championship match. He played against Bibiani, if I remember correctly. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I think experience gets him, and experience is what carries you in this league. We've seen that a lot. And Brendan still doesn't have the experience of someone like a Mark Draco.
The kid came in like a man on fire.
And he knows his stuff. He got far. He played against Bateman, took Bateman to the wire. It's just, I got to go with the experience here. That's just me personally.
And Draco.
And Draco?
And Draco.
I made a good argument, didn't I?
That match is gonna roll, and if Meyer comes out, if we get there and Meyer comes out, great.
Yeah, I can't be mad with any outcomes in this tournament, basically.
Yeah, like any of this can go either way, and there's not a matchup that we've seen so far where I'll be shitty if the other person wins. Yeah.
So here we're on Rocha versus Harris because we both said we think Dan's keeping the belt. So Rocha versus Harris.
Damn it!
I want to go with Lon, especially because I want to keep seeing more of his character. But Rocha's been
lose his mind.
He's a freight train.
In the fourth.
Rocha's been a freight train, and he always has been a freight train. And Rocha is one of my favorite competitors in general.
Wherever John Rocha's at right now, he heard you say that, and he's upset. I hope.
I just gave him a compliment. Hush.
Oh man. You want to go Lon?
No, I'm still leaning towards Rocha. It's okay. I want to say Lon because of his character, but I think Rocha's gonna win.
I got Rocha too because if Rocha's matches go the way we expect them to, so Rocha's gonna end up being in this tournament.
Yep.
And he wants that belt. He wants a singles belt. And another guy that feels like he has a chip on the shoulder, definitely doesn't, but he feels like he has one, and he wants to prove himself. This is it. And against Lon, nonetheless, a kick-ass competitor like Lon, this is it. Rocha over Lon, to me.
All right. Now we're going to go back down. Rocha versus Draco.
Oh, God.
I'm going Rocha still. Rocha's going to be pissed after losing out on the title, and he's going to use that as the flame to push him back to it.
This shit's awful. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Rocha too, because and Draco will the odd couple's gonna have a ball in the team tournament.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
They're gonna have a riot, and I can't wait to see it.
All right, Bibbs versus Ellison. I got the beast. Like I love Chance is one of my favorite heels, but the Beast's knowledge is just almost unmatched. He is one of those god tier players, and I got to go with him.
Yeah, I'm
now. This is where it would be interesting. A matchup of teammates, Preston and Tom.
This is awful. God bless America. I'm picking. I want to go with Tom.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna rock with Tom.
I'm going with Tom too, just because
it's another coin flip.
It's a coin flip match. Kristian just gave us a lot of coin flip match, so this is a pain in the ass.
All these are.
I know. And then you got Oyama Riley. I think this is where Riley's journey ends. He's got a few points for the Finstock Exchange, but I think Oyama, former champion who knows what he's doing. Granted, Riley's a former champion too, but Oyama's a more recent champion. And I think Oyama and his more lax chemistry now is what's going to propel him forward. I'm
also picking Paul. I cannot argue against Mark, so I'm just going to go with Paul. Just so I don't have to slander. I don't want to have to. Nope, I can't. I'm picking Paul. Yep, that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, let's bring it to the finals.
Are we in what is this, the Elite Eight?
We're in the Final Four.
We're in the Final Four?
Yes.
Oh, no! This tournament's so damn long. What's the first one?
Rocha versus Bibbs.
Oh. Two guys that made the Schmoedown what it is today. With characters, with entrances, with performances. These are two guys that are crucial to the history of the movie. And
have their own rivalry going. Just remember, Rocha took his title back from Bibbs.
They've always been pitted against each other. And even when they were together, they were separate, and they were always treated as two separate entities. My God, this match could be the best of the tournament. If the tournament goes the way we just made it, this will be the best match. I'm telling you right now. This will be the best match in regards to performances, to emotion, to character, because they're both guys are going to bring it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And oh my God,
I still got to go with Rocha here. I said, if he's in this tournament, he's coming in hungry, and he's just trying to get back to Dan.
My man stays hungry. Even if you don't like John Rocha, you cannot tell me that he doesn't. He's in constant.
He's hungry when he has a belt
because he wants all the belts.
He wants all the belts. He wants all the records.
All of it. And I think personally, Rocha, he's gonna psych out Bibbs in the opening. Mm-hmm. He's gonna get under Bibbs' skin because Rocha is a master on the mic. He's gonna get under Bibbs' skin. It's gonna go down to the final question, maybe even OT. I'm going with Rocha. Yeah. That match is gonna be killer.
All I gotta say is, do we see the blindfold come back just to psych Bibbs out?
Yes. If we get this far, yes.
All right.
Yes, 1,000%.
Our last semifinals match, we got Oyama and Tom, and this is where I think Tom's story ends. Oyama, like I said, he's a former champion. He knows what he's doing. He lost on his second defense, and the only person he's lost to is the GOAT himself, Dan Merle. And yes, I finally admit Dan Merle's the GOAT, even though I was on the Sam Levine train for the longest time. But I think Oyama tops Tom.
If you would have told me, like Matt, when you told me that the bracket was out, And I was like, oh, let me go check this out. And I did. I went to go check. I was so on this thing. And it's star-studded. Kristian brought the heat. He 100% did. He brought the thunder. I cannot emphasize anymore how incredible this tournament's going to be. If you would have said to me that Paul Oyama was going to be in the finals, once I saw this tournament, I would have said, no, that's not what's going to happen, because of the routes that he would have had to take. Maybe I had to go back and rewatch Oyama's matches. And Kristian, thank you for pointing this out. He beat Dan, lost to Bateman and Rocha.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I think. Oh my god.
Yeah, I gotta go Oyama. I
have to go with Paul. Oh, this. I have to go back. Obviously, I have to go back and rewatch all of Oyama's matches. I have to study my man, because maybe I underestimated the hell out of him, because I cannot get that performance to Bateman out of my brain.
Yeah.
But he came back with a vengeance.
All right.
And this is his coming out party right here for Paul. This is your coming out party. The singles championship that you won before doesn't matter anymore. This is it right here. This is it.
It's a different league. It's a newer league. It's a stronger league.
It's a different Oyama.
Yeah.
It's not the same Oyama that had the belt or lost the belt.
It's not the same Oyama who is hard to root for. Like, he is the kind of guy you can root for, no issue now. And he's outside of my guys in the Finstock Exchange. He and Lon Harris are probably my two favorite competitors right now. So, yeah.
But this final,
Rocha versus Oyama,
the rematch.
The rematch, and I think the hunger John Rocha bring. I can never. Here's the issue: because of the competitor John Rocha is, I can never go against John Rocha. That's the issue I have. I can never in my life go against John Rocha, because especially when he's that damn close, he doesn't let it slip.
Oh my god! So this is what we're saying. So what we're saying is that Rocha's going to beat Ethan and lose the title match to Dan. Dan's going to retain.
Yes.
And Rocha is going to plow through this entire tournament and get to the final.
Because he stays hungry. He stays hungry.
My man is never his thirst is never quenched. Even, like you said, even when he has a belt of any kind, he's a current tag champ. He is forever hungry, forever wants more. Maybe we're in the outlaw bandwagon, but damn it, like you said, I can't bet against John. John's a safe pick, and I'm going with John.
And then once again, we see another civil war between the Finstock Exchange for the title.
We're doing it again.
So hey,
we're gonna run it back. We're running it back. It's gonna be a hard ass tournament.
It's literally, this tournament is literally just the Den, the Exchange, and how we did this bracket. It's the Den, the Exchange. The Quirky Mercs getting a little bit of love. It's the Den, the Exchange, and Swag. I don't know why Swag's name slipped me for so long, but yeah, it's the Den, the Exchange, and Swag. Those are the top three teams right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if it stays that way. Like, though they clearly have the best teams, the chemistry, they have teams that push each other forward, and I love it.
I can't. Jeez.
We both think Merle's going to be. We haven't even touched on Civil War Part 2 yet, but
we haven't.
We'll touch it right here.
It's the perfect way to cover it. Thanks, Kristian.
Thank you, Kristian. Civil War Part 2 coming at you soon. Now, at this point, we'll move the Chris Jericho and Kevin Smith portion to last. But at this point, I do got to say, as much as I love Guy, Bateman is the guy I'm rocking with. Like, you saw head over heels how much of a better competitor and player he is than Guy. You saw that in Houston, and Bateman, to me, especially when they were team action, was always a stronger player. And it showed especially when he and Riley went as far as they did in the teams tournament during the corruption tournament. Bateman knows how to win. Guy is a great supporting character, supporting player, and a hell of a character.
Oh no, I'm Andrew Guy is my favorite personality in this whole league.
Yeah, that's
what I love Andrew so much, and I will never I will never put supporting by my man's name. Never.
As a team, as a player, I will. As a character,
as a personality, hell no. I still can't.
As a personality, no. But as a player, competitor and player are two different things to me. Player is actually knowing your stuff. A competitor is everything you bring to the table. As a competitor and personality, he is an A-tier personality and competitor. But as a player, his knowledge lacks at certain points, and that's the issue I have. That's why I cannot even give him a chance against Bateman. I think we see another knockout. I'll say it right now.
Oh, God. Look, so let's talk about Houston for a second. Like you said, Houston proved to us that Bateman was that he knows more. Bateman just knows more. Plus, I mentioned it multiple times in this whole show. A lot of competitors go to the Ben Bateman School of Schmoedown studying.
Mm-hmm.
If my man is out here studying with the goats of this league, the Mount Rushmore, the four horsemen of the Schmoedown, or the five horsemen of the Schmoedown, what the hell? Guy's not doing that. As far like Andrew,
Guy has Ethan. He's got Ethan and Sam. Granted, he has Sam. I loved talking to Sam the time I got in the few minutes I got to talk to him at Wizard World. But it's not Rocha, it's not Merle, it's not Riley, all on the same team for him to talk to.
Bateman's going to come out on top again at the Throwdown on August 27th. It breaks my heart to say it, but Ben, although the in-faction stuff does bother me sometimes,
yes,
I love Ben Bateman as champion. The idea, because Ben to me, he's the baby face he's the face I want running my Schmoedown.
Yeah.
If I'm Kristian Harloff, Ben is he's the face of my thing. He's the face of he's my Cena. Bateman's my Cena. And putting him against Guy, I love the story behind this, especially with Andrew and the stuff that's been going on backstage.
Schmoeminati.
Is the Schmoeminati real? Is Andrew just going crazy? Or does he actually have something factual to say?
If it lands on Spinner's choice twice for Guy, I'll say the Schmoeminati is real. Until then, no.
I want, and just to break kayfabe for a second, I love the Schmoeminati gimmick. I love Andrew going nuts. I love it so much.
Especially with this COVID hair and everything. Like, his hair is all over the place.
I said it. I forgot where it was, but I was on Twitter a few weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, however long it was. I said, like, Andrew Guy, and Mike Kalinowski are the two best characters that the Schmoedown has had in the last few years, if not ever. Like, I really do think so. I know the Outlaw made the Schmoedown what it is now, but my God, Andrew took the baton from the Outlaw and ran with it. And I think the tackle is what really
propelled him.
It was the baton passing. After the top 10 team action match, and Andrew's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and get physical." That was the baton, the passing of the baton from Rocha to Guy, whether we knew it or not. And Mike, the whole corruption thing, I will forever love corruption as like the anarchy tournament, the storyline behind it. It's incredible. It's one of the best things Schmoedown's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
But Andrew has always reinvented himself. He's constantly reinvented himself with carrying past parts of his previous characters, whether it was from Team Action or his stuff with the family to now. I love what Andrew's doing, and I really, 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 really hope that my man's just gonna bring it in this match against Bateman. Because if anyone knows Ben, it's Andrew.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope Guy brings it. I want Guy to come out on top. I'm picking Bateman, but I got Guy.
Here's my thing. We say he knows Bateman and whatnot, and we thought he knew how to get under his skin in Houston. He brought Roxy out, did all the hugging and whatnot, but it didn't work. We still had Bateman come out on top. I don't think he can get under Bateman's skin like he can half the other competitors in the league.
And that was on Ben's rise to the top when the whole Houston thing happened. Ben's reached the top now, and he's had a taste of it, and he wants it back so bad. And I want Andrew to be that wedge that is driven between the singles belt and Ben. But Ben's a force to be reckoned with. If I'm out here studying with Dan Murrell, teaching him, showing him the ropes, studying with Dan, who we say is the GOAT, even though we love Sam Levine, Dan's the GOAT, and it's undisputable. I'm picking Ben and going against Dan to Spectacular.
All right, and if so, it's not even Ben going to Spectacular. Now we got Ben versus Murrell.
No, we'll he's gonna go against Dan, and who's gonna carry the belt? Pull the question back up from Kristian. Like, who's gonna be
champ at Spectacular
going into Spectacular?
I think we have another match like Atlanta at that point, where it is one of
blow for blow,
closest match we've ever seen. Like, I remember sitting in the downstairs rec room with Nick watching Atlanta and just losing my mind, because it to me, like I said, the Finstock Exchange is my number one faction. That's my number one, and then you have Swag, who's 1B, 1A and 1B.
Two great factions stacked.
And it's just like I hate the infighting, and I ultimately think that's what's going to cause the Finstock Exchange to implode. I do believe them when they say as long as the belt's in house, but at the same time, you want to be able to just win and say, yeah, I did this, I took it from him, and you don't want to say that kind of stuff when it's when it's someone in the same faction as you. So
yeah,
it's going to kill me. But I still think Murrell is gonna be champ.
Oh,
we differ here. I take it.
Okay. I can totally see it.
Yeah,
it's respectable. Dan's the man.
Another one of these things. It's a coin flip.
He's dangerous, proven to be dangerous, super dangerous. Dan's the man. Love Dan. Going into Spectacular, I have Ben. Like I said,
Chris, if Ben is champion, I will send you a bottle of Old Forester Statement.
Thank you. And I can't wait to get it in the mail, just like how I got this package that my lovely brother definitely delivered to me. But I think Ben will be champion going into Spectacular. This Guy match is just another step in the right direction. My man wants the singles belt back. He didn't get it. He didn't get his due. He didn't get to be the champ he wanted to be. This is the perfect time to do it and prove yourself, not only by beating Dan, by going into Spectacular, beating whoever you beat there. Well, in this case, Rocha, and prove to everyone. Not only prove to your faction mates, to the other people in the Horsemen, but to everyone in the whole league, fans, competitors, commissioners, chairmans. It's Ben. Ben needs this. To me, he needs it. And then going into however they're going to do the draft next year and the picking of players, Ben's going to be a hot commodity either way.
Well, it's like a mini free agency. And it's
but
beautiful.
I think that Ben is going to be the top dog. Yeah. Ben's going to be I think he will be the player to get. He's going to be, who's going to get Ben? That's going to be the question after Spectacular. Who's going to get Ben? Is going to stay with Finstock? Or is he going to go somewhere else? But we'll talk about that way down the line in December.
How crazy would it be if Ben left Finstock for Roxy?
I was just thinking about that in my brain. I was literally just thinking about it. I'm like, wouldn't it be freaking nuts if he went to the Rocksstars? Yeah. Wouldn't that be nuts? And I mean, who knows?
Who knows
what the future lies, or what lies in the future? But to talk about August 27th, we both have Bateman, but there's another match going on because Guy Bateman's the undercard. There's a world where Guy Bateman's the undercard.
Yes, and you get your man Chris Jericho, and I get my man Kevin Smith,
the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Director. I got a few of his movies strewn throughout my desk right here, just all over the place because I'm a fucking mess. And I'm just loving it. I can't wait. You can probably talk more from the Jericho side. I can probably talk more from the Kevin Smith side. Let's be honest when it comes to this. It's the perfect tat for tat right here. And honestly, if you watch Kevin Smith's films, you know what his movie knowledge is. You know he puts the smallest references to some of the most minute details in his films. And it's just crazy. And I think that this is going to be a match for the ages. And I think the quirky mercs come out on top just because Kevin Smith is a god, man.
Just to show some love to Chris Jericho real fast. I believe you're the one that broke it to me, Matt.
Yeah, I was.
That Y2J, Le Champion of All Elite Wrestling, Chris Jericho, he was joining the movie Trivia Schmoedown under the Rockstars faction. And I'm like, what? That's crazy.
I think I still have that text actually.
Like I lost my mind. And then I'm like, oh, he's joining the Rockstars. Like, yeah, Roxy. Like what's that dynamic going to be like between Y2J and Roxy? Like two big personalities just clashing with each other. And we got the official announcement of the match between Kevin Smith and Chris Jericho, which was the assumption. Yeah, that was when they both joined. It's like, oh, they're going to face each other. That's something that makes sense. And I believe this is the first instance where we're getting someone who has their own wheel slice participate in the Schmoedown.
Yep. I hope to God he lands on it because that'll be freaking great.
You would think so. He's going to put his own slice on the wheel, answer his own questions from the movies he made and participated in. But Chris Jericho.
How crazy would it be if you got a question wrong?
I know. Wouldn't that be? I had to go to multiple choice. You didn't remember. But Chris Jericho, I will forever state this about the movie Trivia Schmoedown. My favorite aspect of this whole league is the personality behind it. The movie trivia is fun. It's a lot of fun, and obviously the core of this league. But the personalities behind it is what made me care about it. It's what made me devote my time to it. What made me go to the live events and pick up cool shirts.
It's how we met.
Yeah.
Without these personalities, we don't meet. We don't make this show.
Who's the boss? Without Who's the Boss, Be Odd Couple, and Alex Damonface and Joseph Scrimshaw, like, bang, like, we're here. And the personalities behind this match, like Ben Bateman, Mark Riley, Jeff Snyder, Mark Andraco, Finstock, Roxy, everybody that was there, those are the reasons why I love the movie Trivia Schmoedown, because the people behind this thing. Chris Jericho is going to bring a shockwave into this tournament. I wish we see something, just something small over, give me a little Zoom or StreamYard, Streamlabs, just a little conversation maybe between Rocha and Jericho, something small. Like, I need two dynamic personalities to clash at some point with Chris Jericho, because this man, he can. My thing with Kevin Smith, like Kevin Smith, like, yeah, he's loud, he's a big personality, but if Jericho brings Le Champion to the MTS, he might have Kevin Smith shaking in his boots. So I'm in the camp that is Chris Jericho can easily pull this out. That's the one thing we don't know. What's Chris Jericho's? What are his strengths? He said in his Instagram post, I believe it was earlier today or yesterday, that he's all about Martin Short and 80s barbarian movies. I don't know how far that's going to get you, Chris, but it's going to be a sight to see. I want Le Champion to bring the energy, bring that character from All Elite Wrestling that he does every Wednesday to the movie Trivia Schmoedown. And on August 27th for the Schmoedown Throwdown, and probably the biggest, the biggest throwdown we've ever done, that the Schmoedown's ever done. One of the biggest events the Schmoedown's ever done. Like the 4 big shows included, this throwdown will be a day to remember. And I cannot wait to see Kevin Smith v. Jericho. And the undercard is Guy Bateman?
Civil War Part 2, baby. And just remember, folks, that is August 27th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So 5 p.m. Pacific time, which realistically, I think we are going to try to do a recap after the match, depending on how schedules work out, because that'll be my first week back in school. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm excited for that match, and
this is gonna be nuts.
I'm really I know, and I didn't play our entire channel trailer that we have, but there was in one of our past episodes we talked about how Kristian is really propelling the league forward in ways we never thought we'd see, and I think you can only continue saying that, especially with what we're getting content wise.
I'm still waiting for Cody Rhodes to do a Star Wars match.
Yes,
I'm still waiting for the American Nightmare.
But for everyone who's joined us, thank you. If you want, you can check out our crew, all 6 people on our network. We've been doing a double elimination Schmoedown inspired tournament. So if you want, like, subscribe, follow on our Facebook or YouTube. Check out the first 2 matches. Our buddy Tom has been doing the questions. He put in a ton of work for that 21-page question doc. Like, you gotta love him for it. Put all this time, effort, and everything into it. Match 3 is dropping in literally 40 or 39 minutes. Match 3 drops, so be sure to check that out. Watch mine and Chris's first match. Watch the introduction of the Rager tonight. That's what's really exciting, the introduction of the Rager. And you can find that all on the Who Are They Real Entertainment Network on Facebook or YouTube. So signing off, I'm Matt.
And I'm the personality, Chris Anthony Lopez.
And remember, folks, spin from the reel, not the peg. Have a good night.
Bye.